The fantasy event in Hockey Ultimate Team is finally here in NHL 25, and in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know, including how to get a free fantasy item in this year's game. Now, they also dropped the Supernatural event alongside the Fantasy Hockey event. We're going to touch on that too. Now, this year's Fantasy Hockey event is highlighted by 5 Master Set player items. We've got John Carlson of the Washington Capitals, Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Claude Giroux of the Ottawa Senators, Mike Matheson of the Montreal Canadiens, and Ryan O'Reilly with the Nashville Predators. Now, we also have a whole slew of base items, and for anyone that's new to the Fantasy Hockey event, why this is such an exciting event every year is because all of these cards are solely upgraded based on scoring in the real NHL. So every time that Casey Middlestad or Connor Garland score a goal, they will go up +1 overall. When a defenseman like Travis Sanheim or Gustav Forsling score, they will go up +2 overall, and this will go all the way until they get to 99 or the end of the regular season. Now, I do need to point out that obviously because they have the potential to get to 99, these are among some of the most expensive event items that you're going to find. That said, there is also something you need to keep in mind is that when you're going after the players early on in the fantasy event, you have to take into account when are they going to actually have a shot at making your lineup. Even if you're free to play and your team isn't stacked, a lot of them start in the low 70s, so they're going to need a few goals before they can even crack your lineup. And I'm going to touch on that throughout as we go over and review them all. So starting first, we've got the 76 Kyle Palmieri from the New York Islanders, 5'11", 196 with two-way forward and Schneip as his gold zone ability. He's got 82 speed, 81 excel, and 79 agility. In my opinion, that's just too low to use in your lineup. There are far better options that you can get that are even just B&D that's offered from EA. All of his other stats are in the mid-70s as well, so this is, again, one of those cards that's going to require a bunch of goals before he's kind of exciting to use. Nino Niederreiter is up next at 6'2", 218 with two-way forward and gold close quarters, 82 speed, 81 excel with 78 agility and 78 balance. One thing to note, if you did play the fantasy event in NHL 24, one of the biggest issues was endurance. However, this year, all of these cards have decent endurance, so don't look for this to upgrade throughout the year. Endurance is probably going to stay static, which is how it worked last year. It was just much lower. Now, again, because he is a pure winger, his shot is extremely low. Again, going to have to wait on him. Following him, we've got Sebastian Repo at 77 overall, 6'3", 212, great size with two-way forward and gold Schneip. But again, this is going to be a card you are going to have to wait on with high 70s skating and a shot essentially all below 80 as well, just not really going to be usable. And again, he does play in Liga, so just because they're not in the NHL, they still count. Whenever he plays a regular season game for his team in Liga, he will go up +1 overall if he scores. Gus Forsling comes in at 77 overall, and again, remember, whenever he scores, he will go up +2. 82 speed, 82 excel with 81 agility, and 85 endurance. Now, he does have two-way defenseman, which gets his defensive awareness up past 80. I really wouldn't want to throw him in my lineup just yet. You're going to have to wait for a few goals, but I'll be honest with you, I will do a separate video going over the ones that have the best shot at 99. Forsling does appear to, based on projections, not just from me, but from analytics and just the general hockey community, this is probably one of the safer ones. Alex Pietrangelo from the Vegas Golden Knights with two-way defenseman and gold heat seeker. Again, very low skating. He is going to need a couple goals before his skating is usable. With how NHL 25 is played as well, heat seeker I don't know if is going to have a ton of usefulness because you just want to take one-timers from the point really based on the current way the game is played. Mason Marchment from the Dallas Stars follows him, and at 99, if he were to be able to get to 99, might be one of the best cards in the game. 6'5", 216. Did not realize he was that big. With power forward and gold crease crasher. Crease crasher is interesting. Going for rebounds or shooting low far side, which usually creates a rebound, is an interesting ability, but with a lot of the changes where you had gold abilities just being 2 no matter what, and silver abilities being 1. A lot of these abilities that were just cheaper in prior years lose a lot of their effectiveness because Gold Crease Crasher is not going to be nearly as effective as Gold Wheels for the exact same price. Now, Oliver Ekman-Larsson from the Toronto Maple Leafs will probably be a pretty popular choice with two-way defenseman and a gold seeing eye. This is also a very usable card. In my opinion, he can go right in your lineup, which gives him a ton more value compared to the other fantasy cards. 85 speed, 84 excel, and 85 agility. Again, good endurance, and 84 defensive awareness. Now, if you were to look back at his goal total, it does look like a bit of a stretch for him to make it there to get to 99, but As someone who has watched every Leaf game so far this season, they're giving him power play 1 minute on one of the best power plays in the league and giving him a ton of minutes as well. So this could be a nice selection for you. Charlie Coyle is the Boston Bruins representative with power forward and gold crease crasher. He's got great size and eventually will be one of the better options. But again, he is going to require some goals before he's exciting to get in your lineup. Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi follows him at 6'2", with playmaking forward and gold beauty backhand, which is an interesting ability. Again, I think it lost a lot of its value because it was so cheap in prior games. But backhand shots can be sneaky good in 25. With 84 speed, 85 excel, and 88 agility with playmaking forward activated, mid-80s shooting, and mid-80s hand stats, he is usable right now, which again provides additional value. Travis Sanheim from the Philadelphia Flyers with two-way defenseman and gold heat seeker, 6'4", 222, great size, and again, is a card that is usable right now at 85 speed, 84 excel, and agility. Again, not great, but it is still usable. He's got decent defensive awareness at 85 and already has 83 body checking, so if he scores a couple goals, he's going to shoot way up in value. Casey Middlestad at 6'1", 195 has gotten off to a hot start. Playmaking forward and gold make it snappy. Again, I don't think make it snappy has quite the same impact as it does in 25. It doesn't mean it's a bad ability, however. 86 speed, 85 excel, and 88 agility to go with mid-80s shooting, high 80s hand stats. Again, this could be one of the better options or bets to get to 99. And rounding out the base cards, probably the best one from this first week. Sniper forward on Connor Garland, 5'10", 165, so smaller, but smaller players are usable right now. Gold make it snappy, that's fine, but 88 speed, excel, and agility. Mid-80s shooting, mid-80s hand stats. Like, this is one of the better cards just in general based on his skating. So if he scores a couple more goals and gets his shot up higher or his hand stats up higher, you've got quickly one of the better cards. And the good thing about NHL 25's fantasy hockey event is you can make him. You don't have to rely on the random pack, but more on that in a little bit. Taking a look at the Master Set players from this event, fantastic card art, but playmaking forward and gold 1T on Evgeny Malkin. Always one of the better hut cards when he's higher rated because of his size at 6'3", 195. But with 77 speed, 76 excel, and 73 agility, it is going to require a ton of goals before Evgeny Malkin can even crack your lineup. Based on the last few years, he has never been able to get to 30 goals total in a season, which is what it would have statted out to be for him to get to 99, 29 for being literal. He has had a great start to the year, but again, hasn't quite got there, so it's no guarantee he's going to get to 99. John Carlson's up next at 6'3", 215, two-way defenseman and gold thunderclap. Same situation as Malkin. He is going to require a few goals before his skating can actually get him into your lineup. Claude Giroux follows him with playmaking forward and gold beauty backhand. He does have decent skating, 83 speed, 82 excel, 81 agility. So you could put him on your fourth line. All of his other attributes are awful because he's 74 overall. And more than likely, if you really wanted Claude Giroux, you've probably got the cover athlete version. And you could use that in the meantime until he scores enough goals to get high enough in your lineup. Michael Matheson from the Montreal Canadiens. Now, I do believe Matheson was injured recently. I don't know if he's going to be out at all, but I just noticed something when we were watching the replays of the recent Montreal game. I thought he was injured, so keep that in mind. If they are injured long term, there's no guarantee that EA will give you a set to trade in for somebody else, so keep that in mind. It is buyer beware. 81 speed, 79 acceleration, 77 agility, gold heat seeker. Again, another card that's going to require a couple goals. And lastly, for the Master Set selections, we've got the two-way forward and gold close quarters Ryan O'Reilly. Interesting because while his skating is brutal, he's always got one of the better face-off ratings, already at 80 overall at 76. So if he can get that skating up just a little bit, he could be fine on your fourth line until he gets a little bit higher up in overall. Now, the all-important sets and how you make these fantasy hockey items, let's break it down. So, there are fantasy hockey collectible sets. They vary in overall, but 80 overall is the final entry point, meaning that 80 overall and above cards, you can trade in 1 for 1, essentially. You trade in 3, you get 3 hockey collectibles back, so it is a 1-for-1 price point here. Now, to make one of the Master Set items, it is going to require 40 fantasy hockey collectibles to get these cards guaranteed. They will be untradeable, but you can make all of the Master Set items. And for the first time ever, if my memory is correct, you can make all of the base items individually for the first time, which is awesome. So if you wanted to get Connor Garland, it will cost you 40 fantasy hockey collectibles, just like the Master Set items, but you can go ahead and do it. You don't have to rely on a random pack. Now, 80 overall and above items look to have fallen into price at about 18,000 coins. So again, I'm just doing the math based on that. Because you need 40 of those collectibles, at that price point, you're looking at 720,000 coins in value. Again, these are one of the more expensive events because they have the shot to get to 99. If you are going to trade in a lot of your collection or buy cards to make the collectibles, I'm not going to give you a price point, but simply do the math. Go and take a look at how much a 78 overall and above item is going for. You need 5 of them, and you will get 2 in return. So, at the current time of this recording, they're going for about 8,000 coins per. You need 5 of them. That would be 40,000 coins to do this set. You will get 2 hockey collectibles, which is 20,000 per. So, given that price point, 80 and above items at 18, which are 1 for 1 essentially, would be a little bit cheaper for you. Now, there is one more set that is extremely interesting, the random fantasy hockey base player item. So that is Connor Garland, all of the non-master set player items with the crazy card art. For 16 fantasy hockey collectibles, you can get a random one. It will be BND. Now, I gotta be honest with you, when it comes to the fantasy hockey event, this is the one event where BND really doesn't matter. They're account bound. You can't trade them into sets. You're not gonna trade an untradeable fantasy hockey player into a set unless you're well into the summer. So this really doesn't matter. And why this is important and the cost for 16 to make a random one? Well, EA actually gives you enough to get this for free. That's right. If you go over to objectives, you will see the Fantasy Hockey Week 1 objective list. Now, it does look like there is going to be a Week 2, so keep that in mind. But you want to complete these objectives because if you complete this whole objective path, you will get 11 Fantasy Hockey collectibles. Now, you will need supernatural player items. I'll touch on that in just a little bit, but that's a solid chunk of change off of the cost if you wanted to make an individual item at 40 collectibles, or if you want to do save up the 16 you get for free and use in that set. Now, there are fantasy hockey moments, and the final moment will net you another 2, totaling 13 so far from objectives and just the moments. Again, these are pretty simple to complete. And then finally, in the new wildcard path, which is extremely lucrative just from looking at it so far, you will earn 3 more fantasy hockey collectibles throughout the path, including 2 supernatural tokens. Again, more on that in just a little bit. And another X Factor Series 1 player choice pack, which if you pre-order the game can almost get you a free captain card just by the free X Factor packs that they've given away so far. So again, great value in the wildcard path this week. So now let's dive into the Supernatural event. This is an event that's running in tandem with the Fantasy Hockey event, which allows the players that really don't have an interest in spending, a million coins in value trying to make a fantasy card. These cards are more than line with what a normal event will look like. You've got the Master Set Andrei Vasilevsky, Al McInnes, Roman Josi, Jaromir Jagr, and Nathan McKinnon headlining Week 1. Now, on top of that, you've also got base items. So Justin Carbonneau, the 80 overall right-handed winger at 6'1", 189 with two-way forward, is a junior card, has good agility and good shot power, but outside of that, probably one that I would avoid. Next, we've got the 80 overall. I'm going to assume that's Giles Sen at 6'5", 203. Now, obviously, a big goaltender is always kind of the focus, but his speed at 77, I've talked about this a lot. Speed is the most important goalie attribute. That is far too low. You want to give him a shot? Let me know in the comments section how you do with him, but I'm going to guess you're not going to find great success with him. Anthony Mantha. Now, this thing is a weapon, and I'm going to talk about how you can get this for free in just a little bit. 6'5", 234 with sniper forward, 88 speed, 87 excel, 81 agility is pretty rough, but 84 balance, mid-80 shooting. At 6'5", 234, 88 speed, and 87 acceleration is awesome. So love that. And again, you can get him for free. Reed Gardner, the 81 overall right-handed centerman, 5'11 with sniper forward. Again, when you have European cards or junior cards, there are always some weird attributes. So 87 speed, 86 excel, 92 agility, and he's got 92 on the shot power as well. Always be on the lookout for the European cards. Like I mentioned, because their overall it's lower, some of their attributes get jacked way up to make up for it. Philip Hollander, 6'1", 196 with two-way forward. A centerman with only 78 faceoffs with two-way forward activated. Again, decent skating at 84 speed and 83 excel, but nothing crazy. Uri Slavkovsky gets a card at 82 overall, 6'3", 230. Montreal Canadian fans are going to love that. He does have 84 speed and excel, so again, not great skating, mid-80 shooting, but he is very big and hard to knock off the puck. Jacob Markstrom, which might be one of the better goalies. Every year, he's fantastic. Again, only 81 speed, however, so if you do try this card, let me know. Jacob Trouba from the New York Rangers at 6'3", 6'3", 209, the right-handed defenseman's got defensive defenseman, which gets his body checking up to 92, which is one of the better body checking stats in the entire game right now. Again, I've talked about this a lot. It is very hard to knock players off the puck unless you have a very good body checker in terms of the attribute, and Jacob Trouba's got one of the best. He's also got decent defensive awareness at 84 and 89 stick checking. 84 speed is fine, 82 acceleration's a little low, but because he's so big, you can probably get away with it. Tim Stützle from the Ottawa Senators gets playmaking forward, always a decent skater, 87 speed, 86 excel, 89 agility with playmaking forward, mid-80s shooting, high 80s hand stats, so a fun card as always. Braden Points, 84, the playmaking forward and Silver Schneip, always one of the best skaters. 87 speed, 89 excel, 92 agility to go with high 80s shooting and borderline 90s hand stats. Could be a sneaky good card here. And then Rasmus Sandin, 6'3", 204, two-way defenseman and seeing eye, 85 speed and excel with 86 agility and 87 endurance on someone who's 6'3", 204 with 89 defensive awareness and 91 stick checking is very strong. Moving on to the master set items at 85 overall, we've got Jaromir Jagr, 6'3", 254, and gold unstoppable force. There is literally no cards in the game that will knock him off the puck. We don't have many cards, if any, that have truculence, other than, I believe, a power-up hologram icon. 86 speed, excel, and agility. Like, you are just simply never going to lose the puck with him. Could be a really fun card. Andrei Vasilevsky at 6'4", 220 gets checking boost is his ability and gold no timer, and speed is at 83, so not terrible. But again, when you consider the impactfulness of defensemen and forwards, goaltenders are always among the lowest. Al MacInnis gets one. 6'1", 204, two-way defenseman, gold thunderclap, 86 speed, 84 excel, 85 agility. We have seen Al MacInnis' power-up icon card be really effective early on, especially with that shot. 95 slap shot power, 89 accuracy with gold thunderclap, given the meta of this game. 93 defensive awareness, 87 stick checking, and 83 body checking. A really strong option for a right-handed defenseman. The left-handed defenseman from this release, Roman Josi, with two-way defenseman and gold heat seeker, 86 speed, 85 excel, 86 agility, 83 body checking, great defensive awareness and stick checking at 91. So we get another strong option here. And lastly, the 85 Nathan MacKinnon, gold playmaking forward and gold make it snappy. Again, make it snappy, not as impactful as it was in prior years, but 90 speed, 91 excel, 92 agility, high 80s shooting, high 80s hand stats, 80 face-offs, so you could use him at center. However, this did tank the price of his base card. In my opinion, I would probably just stick with his base card because he's got the exact same skating. He just doesn't have gold make it snappy, and obviously -1 in every other attribute, but his skating is exactly the same. I don't think I would pay up to get his master set player item from the Supernatural event. Now, unlike the cover athlete event at launch of NHL 25, this is resembling more of the older style event in which you get a master set player item and then you have to upgrade him via collectibles, or in this case, Supernatural tokens. 15 total will get him up to 85 overall, which would be tier 6, and unlock his gold ability. So you have to include that in the cost, as all of these master set items will come at 80 overall. Now, you can find them on the auction house as well, so keep that in mind. Now, it does look like this event is going to be 2 weeks long, like the fantasy event, but you've only got 1 week to make these master set player items. Don't love that change, but it is what it is. Now, you've got to collect 4 Supernatural collectibles to make one of the 80 overall master set player items, so you will need 4 collectibles total just to get that. You can also trade in 7, and you will get an 80 and above Supernatural base player pack, so this would be all of the cards that are not the master set items, so like Rasmus Dahlin and Braden Point, for example. To make the collectibles, you will need to trade in 379 and above rated items, and again, it is a 1-for-1. 379 and above items will get you 3 Supernatural collectibles, and then there is the token sets as well, so once you've gotten the actual 80 overall card, you've got to upgrade them. These will be a little bit more expensive at 80 and above, much like the fantasy hockey event, to get the tokens to get them all the way up to 85. Again, you'll need 15 total. Now, they do give you quite a bit. If you complete 1 set, you will get that Supernatural Anthony Mantha, which again is pretty awesome for free, even though it is untradeable. So it's not even BND. You will get to use him in sets if you want. And then that will allow you to complete the fantasy hockey objectives as well for free, because you need a Supernatural player item. So again, you just got to complete 1 set. You'll get Anthony Mantha. Now, throughout this, with 30 body checks and 10 goals with a Supernatural player, so that would be Anthony Mantha, you'll get 2 of those collectibles. Remember, you need 4 to make an 80 overall base master set player item. And then you also receive 3 tokens for completing the rest of the objective path. Now, there are supernatural moments as well, and you will receive 3 more supernatural tokens in there, which again will help lower that cost of upgrading all the way. And then finally, 2 more tokens in the wildcard path, I believe totaling 11 in week 1. So something to consider as well, if you don't want to make any of the week 1 supernatural master set items or upgrade them all, what you can do is save all of your collectibles and everything. And then next week, they're probably going to give you enough tokens for free to make one of the master set items for free. So just again, keep that in mind, save all of your stuff and then wait for week 2. The next question I'm going to get is, what are the best packs to buy in the store? Guys, I'll be honest with you. I watched a bunch of people in the community open up packs. I personally wouldn't recommend it given the state of Hut this year, but still, there are no packs that are actually worth spending your points on. Like, the only one possibly would be this 8,000 point pack that would give you a guaranteed fantasy hockey item. It is BND, meaning that it is account bound. However, you wouldn't trade it in, but it's completely random. You don't get to choose who that is going to be. So again, I don't think I would do that, even though it is probably the best one, given that all the other stuff, you're just not going to pull anything and it's way too overpriced. So that was a lot, and I will have a full breakdown on the fantasy hockey event and the cards that I think will have the best shot at hitting 99. It's always fun to kind of project. Thank you guys again for watching. Let me know what you think of the fantasy hockey event down below, and I'll see you next time.